Dustin Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dustin Rider here, and welcome to my review of the first episode, the premiere episode of Kamen Rider Geo. Quick update here at the very beginning. I usually post the week superhero time reviews on the same day, but Lupin Ranger vs. Pat Ranger's review is going to come out later this week, probably Thursday or Friday. I wanted to get this one out earlier since it's all new and exciting and timey-wimey. Yeah, so just that. So, you know, I know Lupin Ranger vs. Pat Ranger has been the exciting stuff. But anyway, so yeah, this was a solid premiere. I wouldn't say I was blown away, but I wouldn't say I was disappointed. I was kind of somewhere in the middle. Like, I'm excited for like the new stuff and the possibilities and the merch once I finally get my hands on it. You know, so I'm excited for all that. But as far as like just an episode, it was pretty solid. It was basically like, I guess which a lot of these are, but just watching physical manifestation of all the stuff we've learned in the scans. Like, there was really not any new information in here. Like, it was just stuff we already learned, but put to picture. I mean, I did like that we started with like the sequence of future Geo, Oma Geo or whatever, as in his super goldeny form, which I mistakenly thought was another rider in a past video because I'm an idiot. But like seeing him, kind of like the way we started part of Decade's pilot with the vision of the Rider War in the future, but like we get to see him ruling and stuff. And then we pick up with like present day him in past day time before Keeper blew up the dinosaurs. Sort of learning like, oh, I'm gonna be the destroyer. Then after the theme, I think, we fast forward to like actual present day. So for a second I thought, oh, we're just jumping right in. But no, it was like both. We jump right in, but then we actually go back and see how everything happened. So I liked that. And, you know, basically what we know is that, okay, this guy in the future is gonna become some sort of destroyer king, and people from the past, or the future, have come back to the past in various ways to affect this. So like you have the girl, whose name I forgot already. Well, I'll learn it by episode 45. She basically is just trying to stop him from transforming. She doesn't want to kill him. She just wants to discourage him from transforming, get the Ride Watch away or something. But she never took it away, she just taken it away. Instead of letting him hold it, be like, don't transform, I would have just taken it and just smashed it on the ground. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. I think I just turned the computer on. The screen's gonna go blue in a second. And then you have Gates, who is there to just straight up terminate him. And then you have Waz, I think, in the hood, who's like trying to, you know, push him in the direction of the Destroyer King. And basically, I'm not sure, there we go, how I feel about the protagonist guy. You know, his goal is to become a king. It's like one of those weird characters that only exists in anime or toku. Like, you don't see people with weird goals like that. I almost think it would be more interesting if he didn't have goals like that, like maybe because he is more timid. Like, he's kind of that classic sort of timid writer so far as a person in the present. So I almost think it would be more interesting if he didn't have those lofty goals and it was kind of a surprise that a future version of himself would achieve something like that, and then maybe he was kind of inspired by that to like, oh, if I can do that, then maybe I should do it and become better. I thought that was gonna turn off faster, I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't know, it's weird. I have a feeling, it's kind of on that fence. I've talked about this in the past with certain characters where it's on the fence where I could see this becoming interesting or annoying. Like, I see he has potential to be an annoying character depending on how he progresses, but it's kind of weird. And you know, of course, a lot of this is very similar to Decade, except Decade was just kind of a jerk to begin with. And it was kind of aimless, but that's for another time, another video, who knows. But yeah, basically, you know, we get to see him be chased around time a little bit. We see him, which is weird, he travels back accidentally to 2017 and runs into Sento and Ryuga when they're active. But if this is the new world Sento created, then wouldn't their past not have the writers in it? I don't know. Timey-wimey. Like, that's the thing that bothers me about the writer multiverse stuff, is they just don't care. But who knows? I don't think we'll get an explanation next week, but you never know. But he basically just runs into them while they're active. They take him back to the coffee shop. We get a little bit of banter between them. It was very cameo level. Like, he's like, oh, I'm Bill, and this is my assistant. But they're going to be in it next week. And then we see this other villain dude transform. It's actually kind of neat. Like, he takes somebody, I don't remember reading about this in the scans. This, I guess, is one new thing. Takes somebody that was supposed to get hit by a car, and he becomes the another writer version of Build. I almost said Bill for some reason, and those are cool. I really dig those. And then when he starts attacking is when what's his name, Sogaleo is like, oh, I need to defend this person. He's like, actually, I'm going to become king, and I'm going to be a better king. And then just in time that Waz guy presents the driver to him, he geos it up, and fights the guy, and then Gates shows up at the very end, transforms. We saw him earlier in the Edo period just kind of run up on them, but like we see him transform and use the ghost ride watch, which is really neat. I love the sounds, like how they correspond to the show. Speaking of, I sort of addressed this in one of my preview videos, but I love like the voice for the watches, but I don't like the middle jingle. It's too X80 for me. Not that that didn't work for X8, but it just, I'm not a fan and it kind of clashes, but I like the jingle for Gates. But that's really cool, good cliffhanger to end on, you know, and get a little taste of the way that the past rider form changes are going to work. But yeah, it was solid. There was lots of stuff I liked. Again, I liked seeing the future. I liked the sort of rusted statues of all the main riders. There was like a plaque dedicated to his first transformation, which goes hand in hand with when he actually does first transformation. No pun intended on the clock hands. But yeah, like I said, with the main character, I think he has the potential to become annoying. I still think, I had a theory again in my preview videos, that there's a chance that he might not actually be the Geo of the future. Like, I could totally see, I know that there's the plaque with his name on it and stuff, but I could, because especially since I just saw a story like this on 12 Monkeys, but I could totally see a story where, like, sometime down the road, it's revealed that the dude in the future suit actually isn't our protagonist, but, you know, our protagonist's timeline is important to leading to that Zeo, or Geo. You know what I mean? Like, him first transforming into it and everything he goes about, you know, leads to who will become the future king. I'm not necessarily saying that's going to happen, that's just a theory I have. And I actually kind of don't want that to happen, because I think that takes away an interesting aspect of his character and a potential confrontation between his present self and future self and the differentiations between them. But we'll have to see. That's just an early theory, because I feel it's very something Toku-y that they would do. It's sort of thinking like, oh, that's a good twist. And that can lead to good storytelling on occasion. But in this case, I think it is interesting that this sort of timid guy becomes this future king. You know, it's very Terminator-y. It's very, again, it reminded me of 12 Monkeys in a lot of ways. But there's an interesting potential there. I'm curious to see how much they get into it with the time travel in terms of like, I'm curious where the powers come from. If this dude just gave him the driver, is that always what happened? Or is this a new timeline? Like, are they changing the timeline because of this interference and there was a different way he originally got it? Because he first gets the ride watch because it just pops up on his bike. So I'm hoping we get explanation of where that comes from. I'd actually love for it to timey-wimey. Like, who knows? This could have all been the way it always goes. You know, it could be no straight lines. You know, it's just a bunch of time loops. So I'm curious to see that. I'm almost more excited for that than some of the past writer stuff, just because I love time travel-y stuff. So I'm curious how deep they'll go into, like, you know, was this the way it always was, or is this a changed timeline, like weebly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. But yeah, solid first episode, lots of potential, we'll have to see. Looking forward to seeing some more build characters next week and stuff like that, and seeing how the status quo shapes up. But yeah, more on that next week. I think there's going to be lots of interesting theories and stuff to talk about as the weeks go on, depending on how much we reveal. Especially if it ends up being like build, and very early on in build we started getting answers and getting more questions raised, so who knows what it'll be like. Again, very similar premise in a lot of ways to Decade, but they have the chance to potentially stick the landing this time. Anyway, that's about it. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course don't forget to climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get the notifications for all my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.